So, lately I have been reading a lot, and one of the novels I've read is called A Divergent by Veronica Roth. Many of you have probably heard of this because it has interestingly, because of the movie that has come out recently with Shailene Woodley and the gorgeous Theo James. However, me being my OCD self could not watch this movie without reading the book. I mean, I read the Hunger Games series 3 times. One time for each movie. And then another time for when I first read it. Whatever. Anyway, Divergent brought on some interesting points about the individual self, the thought process of human/mankind, whatever you call yourself, and fears. Hence, irrational fears. That is what I'm going to be talking about. You see, Divergent made an interesting comment about how fear doesn't shut you down, it wakes you up. That's what Theo James' character 4 said to Shailene Woodley's character Tris. And interestingly enough, they had another comment about fears when they mentioned the fear landscape, which is where they shot this weird ish into your neck and then you started to hallucinate and they could see all your hallucinations, but your hallucinations were actually your fears, whether it was conscious fears or subconscious fears. And that made me thinking, well, what are my fears? If I was in this book, if I was Tris, what would my fear landscape be? And how many fears would I have? You know? And that's kind of terrifying because I have some crazy fears. And I made a list of them to share with you today because I hope some of you have these fears and I'm not just crazy to have these fears, because that would be sad. That was actually crazy. Number 1. Darkness. This is a terrible fear for me because it's my worst one. It's just, I don't know how to describe it. I get teased all the time because people are like, dude, you should not be afraid of the dark, you know? But then I'm like, you don't understand the way my brain works. Only I understand the way my brain works. And my brain is terrified of the dark, okay? Just imagine this. You're sitting in bed, and then you wake up in the middle of the night because you're thirsty. Or maybe you have to pee. And you look up into your ceiling or your bookshelf or whatever you want. And all of a sudden, there's this tall, lengthy, demonic alien standing above your bed. Yes, I just mentioned Dark Skies, you guys, because that movie tripped me out. I used to imagine monsters and men hiding in my room in the corner waiting to kill me, or maybe a zombie because of The Walking Dead, but no. Dark Sky aliens is where it's at, because those are terrifying creatures. No. Just no, okay? So that's what I picture when I see darkness. And it's not only just that. It's not only just see demonic aliens or zombies or whatever. It's the fact that I can't see anything else. My mind pictures this alien and nothing else because it's pitch black. You just can't see. I can't see anything but an imaginary demonic alien lurking over my bed. Number 2. What was it? Snakes! It's not that I'm technically afraid of snakes. It's just that they really creep me out. They're gross creatures. And I have bad memories and stories of them, in which I guess I will tell you. I play soccer. And we practice at this field sometimes where it's the goal and then desert. Just right beyond the goal is desert. So if you shoot and you miss, or it decides to go through the random hole in the net, then you're screwed because it's in the desert where it's dark. And you just heard my fear of darkness. So just remember that it's dark and deserty. So I kick a ball, and like most of the time, it goes over the goal. It's right over the crossbar. It's good. Football. It's not football, it's soccer, but I think it's football, apparently. Anyway, it goes right over the goal into the dark desert. And I'm like, I'm gonna be brave. I'm gonna go get my own ball. So I do. I'm running, and I leap over this cool rock, and I land in this little whole valley desert thingy, and I'm finding my ball. It's like, yes, I got my ball. So I grab it, and I'm carrying it back, and I leap out of the little ditch valley thing over the rock, look down to make sure I'm not landing on anything I shouldn't be landing on, aka cactus. And then I realize that's not a rock at all. It's a freaking snake. I almost died. So that is what caused my fear of snakes. Number 3, or trace, as I sometimes like to say, murder and torture. Now, I'm not afraid of death. Just put that in your mind. Death doesn't bother me. I mean, it's gonna happen. We're all gonna die. I mean, even Fall Out Boy says you're gonna die. So if Fall Out Boy says you're gonna die, you're gonna die. So just get used to it. But the fact of the matter is that I don't want to die after being tortured. And I personally really don't want to be murdered. If I die, I want to die on my own account. Might be like, my body's like, hey, we're done. Let's just go. I don't want someone else telling me that I need to die. And I sure don't want someone else telling me that I should go through pain before I die. That's just not gonna happen. Now, where did this fear come from, you ask? Criminal Minds. That show, like Dark Skies, does things to you. You don't know what it does until you go to bed at night and then wake up the next morning. Because it's just like you see aliens, you see men sitting in your room waiting to take you in the middle of the night. Not cool, bro. Not cool. I saw this one episode where this guy kidnapped this woman and then tied her up in a barn like this. And then he let wild rabid dogs on her and they ate her. Still alive. Yes, still alive. They just ate her. Blood everywhere. JJ stepped in it when they found her. Number on 4. We're on 4. My fingers knew we were on number 4. Silly fingers. The Great Tribulation. Now, I know some of you probably aren't religious, but I was born and raised in a strong Christian home, and I'm proud of it. And I know a lot about the Bible. So, this Great Tribulation. It's mentioned a lot when people talk about the end of the world. Because it's this time where all this, it's pretty much hell on earth. And this scares me because it is literally, like I'm pretty sure I said this before, hell on earth. And I don't want to be alive when this happens. So I'm just going to give you a rundown, reading it from which one is this? Which one? New King James Version, Tim LaHaye Prophecy, Study Bible. Can you see that? Can you see that? Weird angle. Right there, that one. That's what it's called. This is the Bible you use if you want to reference it yourself. There's a 7 seals where it's white, red, black, pale horse. I can't tell you what that means because I'm not sure. Oh, it gets exciting. Hail, fire, and blood. Antichrist. Oh, swords. Great heat. Kind of like in Phoenix. It's so hot here. Oh, dear Lord. I'm terrified of that. And I don't really want to be alive when there's blood and hail and fire raining down upon the earth. And it just doesn't seem enjoyable. Number 5. My mother. My mom is the best person I know, and she raised me right. And I fully believe that. I will raise my kids the way she raised me because it obviously worked. Look at me. Beautiful and amazing. Anyway, She spanked me when I needed spanked. She did not let me walk all over her. I did not get away with anything. Now, with my punishments making me into the person I am today, it terrified me. I didn't want to get spanked. I did not want my Game Boy taken away. I wanted to watch Powerpuff Girls when the Powerpuff Girls were on. And the Teletubbies and Hey Arnold, I wanted to watch that ish. And the only way I was going to do that is if I behaved. And I knew that as a kid because she put the fear of God in me. And that's super important. Most terrifying thing ever. But hey, it works. Just like back to my original argument, Divergent. Fear doesn't shut you down. It wakes you up. Morally too, obviously. So yeah, those are my fears. I guess I only have 5. I can think of. We're not gonna go into the subconscious Sigmund Freud stuff because that's just trippy. That's just going too deep into the mind. You don't want to do that. That's just not stuff. Yeah, so darkness, snakes, murder, torture, great tribulation, and my mother. Those are my fears. That would be in my fear landscape that I know of. Probably more. So yeah, if you don't believe the mother thing, you could check out Superwoman's video. What's it called? Now That's Scary, the real scary things in life. And I will post the link down below in the description box if you want to watch that. It's pretty funny. It's a music video for Halloween a couple years back, 5 months ago. Just kidding. Last Halloween. It's pretty great. She's great. Yeah. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. I'm gonna try to make a video every week. I'm not sure how that's gonna work. I'm super swamped all the time. But this is my first one. I hope you guys liked it. And if you do, spread the word. And also, if you're interested in collab stuff, my friend Julia and I made a collab channel called We're Adults. But when you search it, it's called Julia Hayli. Because we're so creative. We're just so creative. That's what we called it. So if you're interested in that, we got Ellen's Dance there. Hopefully the smoothie challenge is going to be going up soon. And we'll be doing a lot of other challenges and dares and stuff. Super exciting stuff. So go there and watch that stuff too. Thanks guys, and I hope you have an awesome week.